Let's see. I'm looking up a few things. I'm going to check on YouTube in a minute. I was on our friend Miracle and Mayhem. She is live now. If you guys let's see. If you guys are looking to grow your channel, Mayhem and Miracle is the place to go. Again, it's the difference between gaining subscribers and gaining friends and supporters. Lots of places you can go to gain subscribers, and all of them are worthwhile. My favorite being James Gite. But I've made some really good friends from Masha, Mayhem and Miracles. Our friend Brian is here. Brian, how are you? Hey, Brian, how's the Mr. Possum? Any updates? And our friend Vincent, Horror of Spice, is here. Vincent, how are you? Brian Lane says, looked up the Nidra Yogic thing for sleep. That pretty much sounds like the 528 frequency I listen to every night and sometimes in the morning. I didn't see that you mentioned that. I'm sorry. I know that you said the last update that I remember seeing was you're going to give him an hour or two. Man, I'm really sorry about that. You, man, you offered great care, Brian. You did everything possible. I'm sorry I missed that message. As for the Yoga Nidra, it's a little different than just the frequency because you're guided into that state between, you actually have a voice, someone guiding you into that state between deep sleep and being awake. You're in a state of restful awareness. And again, it's the equivalent, especially if you're having a hard time sleeping. It's not to put you to sleep. It's to enter a special sleep where you're in a specific brainwave state. And you're guided to through a healing process where you get to enter an intention. You rotate your consciousness through your body. It's a very, very profound experience. And again, 1 hour of Yoga Nidra is the equivalent of 4 hours worth of sleep. So, and you don't have to do anything except listen to the voice as they guide you through the process. Vincent says, I am well, taking a day to rest. Good. Brian says, thanks, yeah, I did what I could. Man, you went beyond the call. You just watching you take care of him, you're very gentle. Brian says, probably need to reprogram subconscious mind. I have bad dreams, or sometimes dreams I'm living in an abandoned house. Had dreams I'm doing burpees and putting together pyramids of Giza. Interesting. Man, when I was ultra running, I would have dreams of being on the trail after a long race and falling on the trail, and then I'd wake up with a start. Brian says, if I had dreams, I was still in prison. Yeah, you could sort of call that energetic karma that's still playing out, still playing through, and your subconscious is expressing it. Really think about doing the Yoga Nidra. You can do it right when you wake up, especially on a night that you haven't had much sleep or you feel you slept poorly. Um, and then when you're guided to enter an intention, you just put healing. You would just think to yourself, I am healing my subconscious mind. And then you let the body and the subconscious mind do its thing. I try to do yoga nidra daily in addition to my meditation and my breath work. Excuse me, guys. So we have Milka's on her way over. She's going to walk Misty, the Pomsky. Let's see. So I've been thinking after our experience yesterday, we had a really good live session in the afternoon and very healing. You know, we covered a lot of territories. And then in the evening, had a bit of a chaotic live stream, which is perfectly okay. The thing is, because one seemed really productive and the other chaotic, there's a tendency to judge, tendency to say this one was good, this one was bad. When in reality, they were both equally good. Because sometimes you need that chaotic experience. You're working through stuff. And it's life. Sometimes life is messy. Brian says, sometimes I get up when I can't sleep anymore at 3 or 4 because laying there listening to ego doesn't help. Then after I lay back down and listen to the 528 frequency. Getting up at 3 or 4 is a great thing. Perfect time to meditate. That in the yogic tradition, it's called Brahma Muhurta, which means the hour of Brahma. It's the hour of God. That we're all given a wake-up time, a wake-up call between the hours of 3 and 6. And that's the time we communicate with spirit, communicate with God. But most of us hit the God snooze, and we say, I'll get back to you, God. Try me again at 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you feel like you're being called to wake up 3 or 4, perfect time to sit and meditate. Eric Lapointe is here. Eric, how are you? Hey, did I see over on Mayhem and Miracles that you're thinking about going live? They're talking about me. What do they have to say about me now? I can't imagine it's anything good. Let's see. Brian says, actually, I left out meditation when I meant to say that I go lay back down and listen to. Oh, awesome. And at Riches. I can't think of who Riches are. All good things. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine anyone thinking anything good things to say. Let's see. I'm on Eric's site right now. I was right before he came in, I was about to put up cows to keep me company. I see, let's see. I see you got some more trees up. Awesome. Brian says, yeah, it's pointless to lay there when ego's talking. And it loves to talk. That's what the ego does. Loves to talk and love to convince you. Although, I think at this point, for you, Brian, um, you recognize ego for what it is. You recognize it as a voice. And um, you can actually use it as a form of meditation. So they do in the Vipassana meditation, insight meditation. You simply observe the thoughts, knowing that you are the awareness to the thoughts and not the thoughts themselves, the awareness to the ego and not the ego itself. So every thought is identified emotionally. So you would just sit observing the thoughts. When one rises, you just say to yourself, thinking, thinking, thinking. You go back to the breath. Let's say a thought was with an emotion identified with it. You could say, anger, 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 and you let it pass, and you just keep working with that for the length of the meditation. Brian says it's like being locked up. Yeah, exactly like being locked up, and there's no escape. If you try to force it away, you're just using thought to push away thought, and it never works. That's the whole point of mantra meditation, is if you have a mantra that's based on an actual word. So let's say your mantra is hope or it's love. Great qualities to cultivate in your life. However, if they come associated with things. So if you're saying to yourself as a mantra, hope, 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 you start thinking, I really hope this, or I really hope that, or I remember when I used to hope this or that. But when you do a mantra based on a Sanskrit word that has no meaning, it's relied on, and this is a subject it's great talking to Eric Lapointe about. It is based on frequency, a vibrational quality that has no meaning. And you allow that vibration to take you deeper, deeper, deeper into the unmanifest. Laradox is here. Laradox says, hey, I'm here. Laradox, how are you? Let's see. I did see our friend, just Yogi, doing burpees in his bedroom. Just a night watcher doing, I think he changed it to mention over at Mayhem that she was better at reading the comments than I was, which made me laugh. Because it's true. Everyone is better at reading comments than I am. Laradox says, what the heck is that name? What name is that? Just a night watcher doing burpees in his bedroom. Says hello. I was just talking about you. I saw you compliment Mayhem and Miracles and how well she reads comments. Squirrel Sniper is here. Says, greeting beautiful souls from across the pond and under the same skies. Squirrel Sniper, how are you? Laradox says, Eric, look at that name. What name am I looking at? You see, I don't see any names that are unusual. All of our regular friends are here. which is cool. Squirrel Sniper says, let's see. Was late evening till 1:30 a.m. As it was on Texas time. Well, yeah, you were moderating. Theradoc says no. I name someone. He says something inappropriate. I don't see that. I'm even looking on my desktop. Just all the stuff. Oh, Nightwatcher says, I think Laradox is talking about Eric Lapointe misspelling Laradox's name as Lardox. Just a misspelling. Eric is normally working when he's here watching, so he either always doesn't text or he might be on his tractor. But you know what? That's a good it's a good introduction for something to talk about here. Squirrel Sniper says, deep diving into Exodus. Did you know there were 3 tribes that left? I don't think I did. Lardox says, no, I'm talking about him misspelling my name. Brian says, oh, I probably accidentally guess what Eric calls me brain. Ahmed is here. Hello, my friend. Hey, if you guys want to see some, 1 second. If you guys want to see some great bird videos, some great wildlife videos, Mur Ahmed. I think maybe the best bird videos on YouTube. Dardak says, I literally saw someone with an inappropriate name. Haven't seen anything. Muramed says, how are you, sir? I'm doing good. How about you? Man, how do you get those wonderful bird shots? I don't see any deletion or anything. Hey, Holgo is here. Holgo, how are you? Who's wondering about you? Squirrel Simper says, it was of the same tribe, but 1/3 went northeast in the land. The other 2/3 took to the seas and populated Greece and the surrounding coastline. Interesting. Olga says, cool. What birds do you have? Man, he has great birds of prey. Especially if you go to his shorts, go to his channel and go to his shorts, and absolutely amazing. And while you're at it, our friend UK Medic has a new wildlife video up that is absolutely amazing as well. Otters, foxes, he has a hawk, it might be a falcon. Brian Lane says, guess what, Eric? I hear geese or ducks flying over me now. Awesome. It's one of my favorite sounds. It's just such a has a wildness to it, a wild quality to it. It sort of sparks the soul and makes you want to travel. Olga says, I'm good. I'm doing well too. um, I've been checking your page, making sure I don't miss any of your sculpts. Larodox says, anyhow, how is everyone? Doing pretty good, Larodox. Squirrel Sniper says falconry. Isn't that considered the sport of the kings? At least in the Middle East? Holga says, I'm working right now, so see you later, Yogi. Thanks for stopping by, Holga. I appreciate it. Larodox says, I'm glad Chris is not a moderator anymore. I'm a little sad about it. He asked. He wanted to be a moderator. And then he asked for it to go away. And then he seemed upset that it did. And that I'm going to work. I'm going to work my way to that in a minute. Brian says, and crows, now to which they're always by me. Crows are awesome to listen to as well. Let's see. Theradox says, no hate on Chris. Not for the first time. I've told Chris he is always welcome here. But let me bring that up and talk about that just for a second. That what an important lesson in all of these live streams, not to take anything personally, to just let go and let go and let go. You can't be touched by anything on the internet. And I know Brian Lane's going to relate to this, only the ego can. Larodox says, can I have my wrench back, please? Not quite yet, Larodox. I'd like to. I got to be honest with you. I don't feel completely, I don't feel like you're always completely upfront with us. And that's a shame, because I like you, and I consider you a friend. Larodox, guys, I can't stay too much longer in these chats. Like soon I'll be permanently leaving on a journey that's hard to understand, but I think of it like this is a journey where only certain people can go. Interesting. Squirrel Sniper says, Larodox, I should work on your now and not get hung up on the past. I agree with that. Mocha says, hi, Mocha McCarty is here. And if you're here, come on in if you'd like. Larodox says, people can accidentally go on this type of journey. Some don't want to, some too, and are planning to, like me. Awesome. Keep us posted on when you're going to embark. Of course, well wishes on any journey at all, but especially one of this nature. Larodox says, just want to say I love you all, and I'm enjoying my time as it lasts. Well, thank you for that. You are loved as well, my friend. Mocha says hi to Squirrel Sniper. Larodox says, and I don't necessarily want to go on this journey, but you know. Yep, sometimes we don't get the choice in the matter. Muhammad says, Zeradox, best wishes on your journey. Very nice. Squirrel Sniper says you can do a vlog, Zeradox, and capture the journey. This is true. Share it. Take others with you. See what everyone can learn. So we're going to do a minor journey of our own. We're going to go down and say hi to Mocha and Misty. Say hey.
I see you. Wasn't low enough.
Hold on, guys. Hey, come here, Missy. Can you? Yep, there she is.
You want our attention? Get the cat food over here.
Good, good.
That was
Half-hearted. That's Misty. You guys have met Misty, and you hear Mocha. She's here. They're going to take a walk. So we're in my messy kitchen where you guys get a close-up shot of my bananas. Let's see. And a high five for Eric Lapointe. If anyone, you can high five me for Eric Lapointe. Missy's gonna high five me. You gotta, there you go. Hold on, it's gonna be on camera. Eric Lapointe. Mocha won't do it, but Misty did. You're such a good. There's the profile of Misty.
she's like she has cat food to clean up, so.
Ahmed says, Zeradox, when you come back, we listen about your journey. Yes, we will. Brian says, nice doggy. We've got a ha-ha from Eric Lapointe. So, hey, Zeradox, deleting your comments. I'd like for us to not go down that road again. I'm not saying deleting other people's comments, but you know, I think if we're careful about what we want to say, there's no need to retract. We say what we say. We stand by what we say. Last night, you know, again, it was a bit of a mess. It was a good mess. I'm actually all for messes because life is messy. So you come on YouTube, you can't expect it to be smooth. You can't expect it to be to go the way that you would like it to all the time. You got to be open. You got to be open to whatever the session, whatever the live stream calls for. Different people. That includes when we hang out with Chris K. He's been through a lot in his life. He's working. He's trying hard to work on himself. As he came in yesterday and he said, you know, he's married. He's a new person. However, he had the same emotional responses as he's had before. Someone called him a name. Someone said this. I don't know if they did. I don't know if they didn't. The fact of the matter is, it simply doesn't matter because it's just a name on a screen on the infinite space of YouTubes. That's right. I said YouTubes. The YouTubes. Squirrel Sniper said, if you observe the monkey, you will see them open from the bottom and not the stalk. I've heard that. I've also heard that when people have watched me open a banana, that I am as clever as a monkey. And to me, that should be fairly obvious.
What?
That I'm not as clever as a monkey.
What?
Well, they're pretty clever. Look how they open a banana versus me. I just eat the whole thing, man, peel and all.
Well, you know what? The peel is actually edible.
Lerodak says I'm deleting my typos, which is fair, but my thoughts are, who cares about a typo? We just, we put our stuff out, and man, if I had to worry about typos, you guys hear me talk. I talk in typos. We just put that stuff out. Reaper says, can I have dinner in your house? Hey, we're talking bananas, Reaper. Come on over. And you and I will have a banana eating contest.
That doesn't sound like a good idea.
No? Well, that's because you've seen me eat bananas before.
No.
In a competitive banana eating world, I'd be top of the food chain.
No.
Let's see. Of course, Reaper is always welcome to come over and have dinner.
Sure.
Of course, the other day he had a steak and french fries. I always feel like my lentils and rice would be a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah. Well, if he comes over, he knows what to expect. So.
This is true. Eric Lapointe says, how was steak and fries? Very delicious. Let's see. Just Tonight Watcher is back. And he's actually typing on a TV. Interesting. Hey, I wonder, we've been on for half an hour. I wonder where our friend Flower is. Narodak says, I keep making mistakes, and I'll keep them, but they look weird. Not a problem. You don't have to keep them. I like everything being, upfront and relaxed. We don't have to worry about typos. We don't have to worry about misspellings.
As long as your message gets across, as long as you convey what you're trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. Again, life, series of mistakes that we learn from. Or we don't. And I would say probably, unfortunately, most of us don't. We just keep repeating them in different ways in different circumstances. Sadly. I would refer back to yogic psychology, where they talk about samskaras being mental imprints that we accumulate through life. We have them, some in place at birth, some in yogic psychology, at least Buddhist psychology as well, in previous lives. Whether or not you agree with that or believe that is not important. We know that we have them here, because if someone pushes your button, and if you have the same response every single time, maybe you use different words, but we see that quite frequently. And we see that on YouTube live streams. People coming in with the same emotional responses to the same issues over and over again, and then starting another conversation, and the same thing just happens again and again. It's a perfect opportunity to see, that lack of free will, that unless we're able to recognize that, then where does free will fit in? If we're always an emotional reaction, never responsive, never having a choice in how we respond, we don't rightly have free will yet. But when we bring awareness into the picture, and we see that we can actually respond instead of react, now we're talking about a sense of free will. So a conversation like we had last night, what a perfect opportunity to seek freedom, to seek liberation, that someone says something you don't like, if someone insults you, if you perceive an insult, then it's perfect. If you perceive it, is it true? Is it real? Does it really affect you, or is it affecting your ego? Where's that reaction coming from?
This new phone, by the way.
Oh, Mocha's got a new phone. You want to show it to everyone?
No, they've seen it before.
They might not have.
Oh, they've seen an iPhone 15.
Have you guys seen an iPhone 15 before? Do you guys have iPhone 15s?
It looks like a phone.
I have a Galaxy 3. And it's never been, well, I guess it's been updated once. Flower is here. I was just talking about you, Flower. Lerdek says there's been a lot of hate towards my friend because they say his name wrong. His name sounds like the N word, but that's dumb. Yeah, it just sounds. That's a shame. Flower says she's sorry for being late. Not a problem. Always glad you're here. And Night Watcher says, so how's everyone's day going? Good. Ahmed says, yes, it's true. And Laradak says, but who cares? It's true. You know, just because the name sounds like something. Flower says, Miss Micah.
Well,
Mocha.
it's funny because my brother's name is actually Micah with an H at the end.
And if you note the mistake, and Flower keeps it up there. Everyone's decided Mocha. Salina says, I've heard some people are in the beginning of yoga repulsed by the exercises as they come as one with their pain. Is this something you found? No. You know what? I'm thinking I might revise my answer. Physically, emotionally. A lot of times, because this is the whole issue with somatic release, somatic exercise, and expression. Mocha's going out for a walk. I'm going to travel with you guys again. So, pain is stored, emotional pain is stored in the body. And that can be released as you enter a very deep asana, a very deep posture. And not everyone is ready for that release. Not everyone is ready for that type of healing. It's very profound. And you need a yoga instructor who is familiar with that. So that's a good question. So Mocha, Missy, you're out walking. I'm going to see. Laradak says, sorry for deleting message. It was an accident. And Mocha says, all good. I forgot about it. So, I'm just about caught up in the conversation here. According to our friend Night Watcher, Masha on Mayhem and Miracles is a much better comment reader than I am. And I'll tell you something. I agree with Night Watcher. Masha is. Laradak says, okay, Mocha, I didn't because it ended in my French here. It will come back. Laradox says, guys, I officially need your opinion. Should I go on this journey? Laradox can't help you with that because I don't know, are we talking a physical journey, a spiritual journey? For me, that's sort of how I sounded when I would eat mushrooms and take LSD, which I know you're not going to do, and I don't recommend it for everyone. Flower says, let's see, I just saw a spider, a spider on my left, and a cockroach popped up on my right. I like spiders. Not crazy about cockroaches, although, it's all part of life. You can't have the flower, you can't have the spiders without the cockroaches, so it seems. So, Flower, I got news for you. Our friend Chris K was visiting here last night. And I don't think he enjoyed his stay too much and announced that he won't be coming back. Oh, there's Flower saying just what I was saying. So why was Chris not pleased with the conversation yesterday? He didn't think that we were forceful enough in disciplining people who were insulting. I'm not much in disciplining others one way or the other, but as well, some misperceived insults. The problem with misperceived insults is that to the perceiver, they're real. So their reaction is real. It's got to be handled. It's got to be taken care of. And that's another example of what we were talking about with yoga psychology, along the same lines as what they call the kleshas. Kleshas are the five causes of our suffering, and that is through our attachments. Things should be a specific way. We can call them our demands. We demand life to be this way. People should be respectful. No one should ever call me a name. That I shouldn't have to wait in line. That people I care about shouldn't die. That no one should leave me. A series of demands. Anything that doesn't go our way and we want them to, that's a demand. We suffer because, life does not care about our demands. It just doesn't. It's impartial, unconditional. And then the same with aversions, things we don't want. We don't want to lose anyone. We don't want anyone to die. We don't want to lose a job. We don't want to be stuck in traffic. So we have these aversions to these things, and we suffer because they just happen in life. Selina says, I learned in San Fran, 1985, that the Hare Krishnas are not a cult, but a way of living to spiritual enlightenment transition. What say you? I agree, 100%. Great respect for the Hare Krishna movement when done right. The original concept, sometimes things go astray. A good movement, a good way of living, a good way of life. Sometimes, things happen I think John Lennon alluded to the fact that a good way to ruin any spirituality is to make it into a religion. Um, and that can happen with the Hare Krishnas. Um, I feel a very deep connection with the Hare Krishna movement. Great vegetarian food. My own personal mantram, not mantra, but mantram, is the Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama chant. I use it on my walk every morning, as well as with my mala beads for japa. Score Semper says, your thoughts on the 100 monkey effect. I liken it to what they call the Maharishi effect, based on a similar principle. They was it yesterday or the day before, Score Sniper, you were talking about Rupert Sheldrake, the morphogenic field, that information is passed along that. In the Maharishi effect, it's more of a frequency of peace that is passed along. That if one person in a household meditates, the entire family benefits. If a family meditates, the entire neighborhood meditates. If the neighborhood meditates, and on it goes. It's that communication of frequency through the morphogenic field. Society is lifted up by the efforts of a few, which is a good reason to start meditating, because each and every one of you will have an effect on the world. That what says, Chris got mod, and after that, I'll let Yogi finish the story. Well, I don't want to get too involved in it. Speaking of moderators, run a boy. Just ordered a mini drone. I'm thinking about getting a drone, and I'll get some aerial shots of my lifts. Interesting. You can I don't think you can do that. I know you laugh. I know you're laughing, so I know you're joking. But man, I'm all for getting a drone. They're pretty cool. I guess you could do that inside. It's a mini drone. Wow. Night Watcher says I'll have to pop out early today. What's up with that? So, yeah, I guess we already finished the story with Chris. He sort of feels things should be done in a specific way. And of course, they can't be. Nothing ever meets their expectations, or it doesn't for long. I believe I'm getting it right this time. I looked it up. It's here with a wave. Hello, my friend. Runner Boy says it's just a small, cheap one. That's going to be interesting to see. So are you really going to do your workouts with it? Pretty cool. However, when Chris left, we all told him that we mentioned you several times, that you've been on the lookout for him. And when Chris left, we all made it clear that he's always welcome here. It's an open door policy. Runner Boy says, no, I don't think it has a record option, but it does have a camera. Interesting. That's really why I wanted to do the get one myself, but I definitely want to record and be able to use it at nighttime to get some shots of nighttime wildlife. The Godzilla says, hi, I'm about to play Kaiju Universe on Roblox. Want to join? I don't know how. or what that is. I'm trying to think of the last video game I ever played. And maybe it was Mortal Kombat in an actual arcade, 1987, thereabouts, maybe in the 90s. In the 90s, as I mentioned before, I started drinking. Not that I didn't drink in the 80s, but it was, high school parties. You go when you get drunk, and then it might be months where you never take another drink. In the 90s, I turned professional, fully committed. And not my best decision. Squirrel Sniper says, unfortunately, it's very hard to not disturb nature at night with a drone. I didn't know that. I hadn't realized that. So that changes things for me, because I live my life on the principle of least disturbance. That with people and with wildlife, with nature, my goal is not to disturb. Flower says Yogi doesn't play Roblox. I don't. Not saying that I wouldn't, though, if I knew what it was. Gallo says, well, he's off. Bye. Godzilla, I appreciate you stopping by, though, and I appreciate the invitation. That was really nice. Flower says, why did Chris leave again? Because he perceived some wrongdoings, he perceived some meanness, he perceived some slights. And he thought it should have been handled differently. Nightwatcher says, I'm tired and sick. Man, I'm sorry you're still sick. I'm sorry you're tired as well. Tired is easy to fix. Get some sleep. But sick, that takes a bit longer. We got some emojis. So, I'll circle on back to the glaciers, because I talked about attachments and I talked about aversions. The other one, that's 2 out of 5, is the fear of death. These aren't in any particular order, although I'm saving the most important one for last. Especially, Western society, we don't like to talk about death. Seems rather odd, because in a Christian tradition, it would seem that death would be something to celebrate, because we're now entering the unbodied kingdom of heaven. And I say unbodied because Jesus talked about the kingdom of heaven being within, being found within. And of course, we don't look there. We look without. And it's never going to be found there. It's never going to be found in the outer world until you recognize it within, until the outer world becomes a reflection of within. I'm going back down to Squirrel Sniper's comment, and I want to thank him for that. Because again, that'll change things for me. Flower says, did he think of anything when you said, asked about him? He said, really? He sort of seemed disbelieving, and then he seemed grateful, happy. Flower says, I'm so sorry to have to keep changing the subject. Nah, by now we don't really have a subject. Every comment is a subject in and of itself, which is why it takes me so long to read every comment. And I'll be honest with you, if you guys don't mind me falling behind, I absolutely prefer it this way. I like every single comment to, maybe not every single one, but the vast majority of them, to be a complete conversation. Flower says it might be annoying and you might not want to talk about that, but I just really want to know. It's not that I don't want to talk. Well, one, you're never annoying. You've never been. And all the time you've been here, you've never been annoying. And you never will be. And it's not that I don't want to talk about it, as I also want to respect Chris and his story. Because you can only get my perspective. Doesn't tell the whole story. And you can only get Laradox's perspective, and Night Watcher's perspective, and Eric LaPointe's perspective, Squirrel Snipers. And all of us would be like the people, the blind person, the deaf person, or what were the other ones? I'm sure Squirrel Sniper knows the story. Asked to describe an elephant. And all of them can only see or hear or touch or know one aspect. So someone might have the tail and say that an elephant is like a piece of rope, and someone has a trunk and say an elephant is like a snake. No one gets the whole picture. Not even Chris K. But here's a sign of empathy, is if we can do our best to put ourselves in his position with the limited knowledge that we have of Chris. We know that he's served, that he's been in combat. He lost his lost daughter through a tragic event. It's a lot of trauma, a lot of emotional trauma. So when Chris comes into any conversation, he's going to be carrying that trauma. My hope, I don't pretend to be a healer, but I think people can heal. People can offer a presence that allows a healing to happen. And if not healing, sometimes it's enough just to be with friends and just to relax. So at the very least, I'd hope that being here, we'd be able to help Chris relax a bit. But I just don't think it was to be. Squirrel Sniper says, Night Watcher, don't think of it as being sick and ill. You were just unwell. The moment you realize that, it will activate your own immune system. Some excellent advice from Squirrel Sniper. So that's sort of how I feel about it, Flower. I just don't think it's worth me telling you just my perspective, because it leaves Chris's out. And his perspective is as valid as mine or anyone else's. Godzilla says, then maybe you want to play Fortnite. I have never played Fortnite. Now I got some YouTube gaming friends, great channels, and I know they play Fortnite. Our friend Tokyo Gold King 420, and our friend Smitty Deuces 187. Some of my favorite gamers, some of my favorite people. I wonder if they're live. And if they are, maybe you could join them. I don't know how that works. I don't see any of them up. I do support my gaming friends. Oh, Kayla Bill as well. I got a nice little shout out from Mayhem and Miracles for being live. That's awful kind of her. Good people. Hey, so, hey, does anyone here besides Godzilla play Fortnite? Because if so, maybe you guys can make a connection with the Godzilla. Our friend Dottie is here. Evening, Eric and all. Dottie, how are you? Night Watcher says Godzilla, he doesn't play games. I do play occasionally computer solitaire. I try not to. I like my workspace. Not that I consider this work, but my desk. This is where I come to do. This is where I come to write. This is my invocation table. This is where I invoke words and inspiration. And to do something like playing solitaire, not a bad thing to do. Man, my dad loved playing solitaire. Actually, his whole family played solitaire. But this space, this is my sacred space. This is where I come in the morning to write, to get some work in. You know what? And I consider my time here live. It's a sacred time because I'm with friends. Nothing more sacred than friendship. Dottie says, not well, I'm afraid. In a hospital with some serious health issues. Oh, Dottie, I'm sorry to hear that. This just happened today? So guys, we'll send out some, whatever your tradition is, whatever your belief, even if it's just a good thought, we'll send out healing thoughts to our friend Dottie, of course. Dottie says it happened early hours Tuesday. Squirrel Sniper says to the Godzilla, my son plays Roblox and Fortnite. How old are you? If I may ask, I can ask him to send an invite. Wow, that would be awesome. I did enjoy video games in my late teens and even in my early 20s. But as they got more advanced and involved, I could see how it would become an issue for me, that I would spend more and more time playing, more immersed in that, and that some other important activities in my life might suffer, which is why right now I don't really. Now would be a perfect opportunity. I could dive in, but that would sort of interfere with my meditation and my yoga and my breath work, getting out in nature. I live a highly prioritized life. Dottie says, I've been found to have a heart murmur and some kind of infection. Let's see. Have they been able to pinpoint the infection? In that case, I'm glad to hear that you're in the hospital and they'll be able to work on corrective practices for you. Hopefully they'll be able to pinpoint the infection. Is there a possibility that the infection could be the cause of the heart murmur? Squirrel Sniper says Cosmic ordered. Speedy recovery. Indeed. Mocha says we're heading back home now. Thank you guys for stopping in. To Mocha and Misty. Dottie says I will recover, but I need to make some more life changes. Which you are capable of. Because, man, you have a beautiful path to follow, Dottie. An absolutely beautiful path to follow. And, 1 second, guys. You need your help to do that. One second, sorry. There we go. Squirrel Simper says, Dottie, try to sneak in some turmeric. I agree with that. I have it every day, part of my diet. I have it in my main meal, which is sort of a yogic dish of lentils, rice, and potatoes. Turmeric, black pepper. Black pepper activates the turmeric. And I have turmeric ginger tea after dinner. Daddy says possibly my chest, Derek. Daddy says not sure. Eric, I've been used as a pincushion for the last few days. Well, they will be able to detect it, and then, as you said, that you'll recover. You'll be able to recover. You make some more lifestyle changes, which is good because then the whole quality of your life improves, and you'll have more energy to put into your van work, more energy to put into being out in nature, and all the passions that you have in life. So this gives you the opportunity to heal what's occurring now and then continue with those lifestyle. And we're all here to help in any way that we can. Flower says, sorry for going quiet. That's okay. Flower says I was just blankly staring at the screen for the last few minutes. So, I'm glad you, and I appreciate that you stopped in to keep us up to date, Dottie. You will most definitely be in my prayers. Let's see. I'm going to do a quick check. See if any of our friends are live. Hey, I saw on, let's see. Squirrel Sniper says, I must catch you all again later. Family work. Squirrel Sniper, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Thank you for the healing attention for our friend Dottie. Dottie says, thanks, Eric. I need to go as I have a scan soon on my heart valves. Take care. And you are all my heart. Nothing but love and prayers coming your way, Dottie. We'll probably call it a session soon. We'll see if anyone else pops in. Again, just checking to see any of our friends alive. I saw Noble live earlier this morning. Flower, you doing okay? Sorry for the quiet. So I mentioned before, mentioned yesterday that I'm doing a short course on somatic breathing, as well as the same course, the foundation of trauma-informed care and understanding trauma. Very interesting. And hopefully helpful to me, to friends, to people who come in, wander here. We all have some sense of trauma. Buried deep, unexposed. And trauma has a way of surfacing in our life in unexpected ways. We know through epigenetics that it actually alters the expression of our genes, how our DNA is actually expressed. And we also know generationally, trauma that's been 100 years ago to a family member continues down the family line, which with that realization, it seems like it's a good time to heal, so we don't continue to pass it down, not just to our kids, but pass it down psychically from generation to generation. Because every generation has a response to the previous generation, sometimes within the same generation. And it just never ends. It's always cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect, except it's the same thing. It's the same effect. Never a long sense of peace, never a long sense of peacefulness, never a sense of unity and love that we feel safe within the world. We have those brief periods, but then again, that cause and effect, all because of trauma. Flower says she's good. Awesome. Hey, by the way, I appreciate you stopping by this morning. It's always nice to, for me, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Flower says, anyway, I have to go. It's getting late for me. Have a good life. Day. I will have a good life and a good day. I appreciate that. I think we'll call it an afternoon too. I'll be back later. 5-ish or so. I know Flower will be asleep. And you know what? I always appreciate not watching being here, but not feeling well and being tired. I hope he gets some sleep as well. So, guys, I will see everyone either later today or I'll see you tomorrow if you're around and you feel like stopping by. Thanks a lot. Take care. Let's see. Eric Point says another great live. I saw that reading also. Selina says share. Here's what I heard about Cher. I heard that she's a gypsy and a tramp and a thief. At least that's what people call her and her family. Unfortunately, sadly, because she seems like a nice enough person. Although hasn't she? They're not nominating her for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which seems ridiculous. So, anyway, on that note, that's a good way to end the conversation. I'll see you guys later. Take care.